welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and I am sort of organised but not organised. Hey! It is time to kit up and get ready for my next big project. I de-kitted Walking in the Rain last week. We are now on my Heaven and Earth design and I'm half organised because where did I put the painting that I'm doing? Here it is. Found it. So the chart I'm doing is Mini Beautiful Light. It's called Mini because they do a chart that is bigger than this. It's by Adele Sessler. It only has 15 colours. Woohoo! And it works out as 46 by 82 centimetres when it's completed. So this is going to be my next big project for Thursday Whip and Waffles. I have a very cute little 15 bottle case and I am going to use this again this time. I have my 2 canvases of which I need to make a decision which one I'm going to use. One of them I've not even opened yet. The only reason this one is opened is because my diamonds came with it. I have my sticker sheet. So I got Megan to create me my sticker sheet. We offer in the shop Heaven and Earth design stickers so that I don't have to try and draw these symbols, which for some of them I am extremely grateful for that I don't have to. This one is only 15, but of course when it comes to even bigger Heaven and Earth design charts that you might want to do, it becomes even more and more valuable to not have to write them all out. So I'm going to sticker these up because then I can move at least one thing off my desk as ready to go. So when I ordered, if you saw my video preparing for this Heaven and Earth design, you'll know that I did order my diamonds from Evermoment. And I did choose to actually order the diamonds I need for my next Heaven and Earth design, which is actually a canvas I purchased directly for them. So it's like a mystery diamond painting in the fact that I chose to get the black and white symbols. However, I know what the picture is. I did decide to get those diamonds at the same time because then I thought that just saves me messing about later. So that's why I have so many. But what I thought I would do, because I don't want to go counting lots, is a definite thing I don't want to do. I don't want to go counting everything multiple times. I am just going to pull out the diamonds for this, kit up this, and then the rest I will leave in their packets for my next one. Now it is fairly easy for me to figure out which ones I need for this and which ones I don't, because this one is a black and white image. So there is a lot of black, white, grey, the odd pale green in here, but it shouldn't be too hard for me to find the diamonds that I need, especially because they do seem to be sort of grouped together by colour. I did order 310. I don't particularly need 2 because I have loads of 310s in my stash, but I did want to see how the whole canvas turned out with all the same diamonds. So let me grab my little bin and I'm just going to start with the colours that I've got out so far. And my thought is, what do I need? Scissors. My thought is that I will just fill up the pot, and then when I run out of a pot, I will grab diamonds out and fill up another one. Let me get my mega tray to try and catch any that I make a mess with. So we'll see how many packets sort of fit in here. So that's 3 so far. I'm going to try and use up some of these ones that are sort of just loose and on their own. 4. Got some 2s. This one hasn't really come as one big long strip. It's come as lots of little bits. And no, I haven't checked off my diamonds against my list that I sent them, which is possibly a bad thing, but I just haven't got around to it. Do have a little bit of static in this packet, causing a little bit of grief. So what was that now? 6. We've got 6 in there. So let's go for 7, 8. See how much static we have. They used to do bigger bags in Evermoment, but they don't seem to anymore. They seem to be all these small ones. Come on. Okay. Yes, we do have a bit of static, so I think I'm going to err on the side of caution and call that one done. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 bags. So it's not too bad to only have to open 8 bags per one. In relation to sort of the extra diamonds that I had, I did choose to order extra 3 10s. Because if I ever have a kit that has what I call some dodgy 3 10s, which many kits can do, then I would much rather be able to swap the whole lot out, because Evermoment do tend to be slightly nicer drills. Right, I'm just checking. I do not need any of them out of that one anymore. So I'm going to keep them aside and hopefully I'll be able to shuffle the bags down a bit. So 2, 4, oh, I've only got 6 of 413. So let's put those in. I don't know if there's any further in. But I'm going to kit this up and then I'm going to have a look at the canvases, and then I'm going to have a look at putting the pattern in to markup. I did download markup, RXP I think it's called. I'll have a look in a minute, but I did download it onto my iPad yesterday so that I would have it ready, and then I couldn't help myself. I did import the chart to see how it would look, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-import the chart to show you guys how you can load your chart on there. It does seem to like Heaven and Earth design in the fact I didn't have to allocate symbols and things to it. It is just going to take me quite a bit to potentially figure out how to use it compared to using Pattern Keeper, which I really, really like Pattern Keeper. The only reason I want to try Markup, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, because it's a different one, available on iPad, whereas Pattern Keeper isn't yet available on iPad. If it was, I would just use Pattern Keeper and I wouldn't even think about using Markup, because Pattern Keeper is really good and it just works and I'm happy with it. But my Huawei tablet that I use Pattern Keeper on is extremely old. These are just static heaven. I'm probably causing more trouble by trying to make them go through my tray. Yeah, I'm spilling them all over my desk. Yeah, if Pattern Keeper was available on an iPad, I would just use that. But my Huawei tablet is very old. It was an older model when I purchased it, never mind since I purchased it. So, hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, it was an older tablet when I purchased it. It runs out of charge rather quick. It uses a different charger to pretty much anything else I use. It does use the same charger as my LightPad, but it uses a micro USB. And it's always remembering to charge it before I do my whip and waffle videos. Whereas my iPad is more often than not charged. Partly because I use it for my quilting patterns too, as well as a few other bits depending on what I'm doing. So yeah, I thought let's give Mark up a go. It seems okay. I say it's going to take me a couple of sessions actually working on it to establish exactly how much I do or don't like it. If you find me moving to Pattern Keeper halfway through, you'll know why. But so far, from what I've seen, it looks good. But I'll do the complete setup again, just so that you can see. It does also cost, I think, after your first free trial with Markup. It does with Pattern Keeper as well, but I've already paid for Pattern Keeper. So I'm hoping to get at least one whip and waffle in where I can give it a go before I have to pay, which is why I only downloaded it yesterday. So I can see how much I like it and then decide whether I want to pay for it. Okay, 3 tens. 2, 4, 6, we'll have them from there, 8, and I'll keep all these together and hopefully I'll have a bag in a bit that I can pop them in once we get through a few more. But yeah, hope everybody is well. I do have my laptop with me, so I think what I might do is pull up some comments and questions from either the end of Walking in the Rain or my preparation from last week. And we'll go through some of those. So let me just have a reshuffle. Where did I put it? There it is. Put it on top of my iPad. Yeah, let's pull up some comments, etc. and see where we're up to. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down and then nip past the whip and chat. Here we go. So I do have one from an older Walking in the Rain whip and waffle. So it maybe was the final one. But Mysterious Days, she says, hello Rebecca. She says, today has been a mixture of great and terrible news. Oh no, you don't need the terrible, thank you. She says she'd hoped she'd say all good as she woke up properly cold and needed the heat on, which is something that she's been waiting to happen. She said she is so ready for winter. I am so not ready for winter. But I have to go through winter to get to spring, which is my favourite time of year. I spotted something the other day. Somebody commented something. I don't think it was a YouTube comment. I think it was just me getting caught up watching some reels. But somebody mentioned how their favourite season, or they found that they love autumn, but they were born in September, which is, of course, getting into the autumn season. So it did make me wonder, just as a little random thought, what is your favourite season And does it coincide with your birthday? Because my favourite season is spring. I love spring because the weather is warmer, but not too hot. It feels not like cold fresh, but just like nice. Yeah, it still feels fresh and nice. And I love spring. And I'm an April baby. So it did make me wonder if there is quite a realm of truth in that. So just with you saying that, Mysterious Days, when were you born? And do you find that you were born near the season that you love? Are you a winter baby? So yeah, just throwing that out there. 3799. Yeah, that's in here. Say sort of greens, greys. We've got whites. Now I do know that some of these colours are duplicated in my next one, in my next painting. So there may be some numbers that I have quite a lot of. And what I'm going to do, because I have just pulled a chunk out of there, is that is for my next painting, and that frees up a bag for me to start putting my extras in for this painting. So yeah, do you find that that links up? 2, 4, 6, 8. Trying not to unravel this one too much, and then I can pop that in with the rest. We'll see if I need a second bag the further on that we go. But yeah, she says in the good news, she says she got her GED diploma in the mail today. Woohoo! She says she needs to flatten the bend in it. She says despite it saying do not bend on the envelope, yes, I'm sure that do not bend is ignored by many. She says, and then she needs to buy a frame for it. She says in the bad news, she says keeping it vague, she said a serious legal threat has popped up in her household. And she's absolutely terrified, she says, because if they don't side with us, proper legal consequences for a misunderstanding could occur. Oh no. She says no matter if you're religious or not, she says, which she's not judging whether you are or not, but she does ask to either send good vibes or prayers their way. Sending it all your way. Well and truly. It is not a nice time when things like that happen. That's for sure. She says she's watching this to diamond paint and try and relax and unwind. She did attempt to walk, she says, but the stress has made her stomach hurt so badly. She only walked for the 15 of the 60 that she planned before running home, she says, and she's suck at running, and ended up curling up into the fetal position. She says she can't even finish one of her favourite meals because she's not hungry. She says, side note, she says, but is anyone else following the current Dancing with the Stars series? She says she's just curious. I'm not following any sort of TV series like that. If I tend to watch anything on TV, it tends to be something that, you know, all the seasons or most of it is all uploaded and I watch it in bulk. I don't tend to watch TV, and I definitely can't be doing with TV being something that is like one episode a week. I can't be doing with it. Right, I've decided not to use the spout of the tray and to use the corner of the tray because it behaves a little bit better with static. Just a side note. But yeah, I hope everything gets so much better, because yeah, it's just sucks. But yay on the GED though. Did absolutely amazing getting that. And I think we all knew you could get it. It was just getting you to believe the same thing that took a while. Busy Lizzie. So this is a comment from last week's breakdown of Walking in the Rain. But she said, talking about road trips, she says, when we were kids, she says, does anyone remember those sweets, she says, that we used to travel with? She says they came in a tin with a screw top lid. She says used to have those on car rides down that were 1.5 to 2 hours away. She says in the beginning of the road trip memories, she said we'd have colouring or activity books with snacks and drinks. She says then as she got older, she got an iPod with music and started listening to downloaded songs. She says, remember those times when you had to download music? She said, to listen to stuff. Yes, I do. I also remember the times when you used to record off the radio, trying to make the likes of a mixtape off the radio. There was a lot more effort put into things then, and you would have to try and recognise the song that you wanted if the DJ didn't introduce it, and you would have to try and pause it at the end before the DJ started speaking again, so that you could just have the songs. That's even older, but yes, I do also remember the download music time. She says they use LimeWire software to do, she says, and she remembers waiting hours, she says, for one to download. Yes, times were nowhere near as fast. She says nowadays she has her phone and YouTube. She says whether that's videos or music to listen to. She says, and she has sweets, obviously. Yay on the sweets. Those sweets, those round ones, I do remember those. My dad used to occasionally have them in the car, especially when he did sales and was travelling up and down the country. He used to know in every town where the nearest toilet was and where the nearest cake shop was. Whenever we used to go on long road trips, he always used to know if any of us needed the toilet, he would know what was the best toilet in a town, potentially, if there wasn't a services nearby, and where the cake shop was. But yes, he used to have them. I have actually seen them in shops still as well. Guaranteed it is more in the services, but if you keep an eye out in the services or in garages, sometimes you can see those tins of sweets if you really want to buy yourself some for your next trip. Blossom Chops, she says she is with me on the Richard Osman idea. She said his books keep popping up on her Audible. She says maybe she should try a sample. Let me know what you think. I am currently still on, is it LJ Ross? I'm currently still on that series, working my way through it. And yeah, getting some of those done. Right. Do you know, I'm enjoying kitting up. I'm not enjoying these little packets anymore. I used to love it when they came in these packets when I first started diamond painting. It felt so different. And now I'm like, no, I don't need these packets, thank you very much. I'm glad it's only 15 colours that I have to deal with though. Goodness knows how long it's going to take me to kit up my next one, because that's all the other colours. But that is a problem for quite a way in the future. These that don't have static are easier. Liv's Dotting Den, she says she loves a do nothing day. She says that she needs to recharge after a mentally exhausting work day. Yes, do nothing days are great. I was supposed to have a couple that, you know, didn't have to have anything done kind of days over this last weekend, but I ended up getting crazy busy. And I don't know where my weekend went. Irene, she says, thanks for the readout. She says she is dotting away on one of her 4 whips for October. She's as bad as me, having loads on the go at once. I keep feeling like I've neglected Kookaburra, though I did do some last night. Then I feel like I neglect my Paint Gem minis, so I want to do some of them. Once my Heaven and Earth design has been kitted up, of course by the end of this video, and once I do the video for next week where we start working on it, I'm then going to feel as though I need to also possibly work on some of this outside of the regular whip and waffles, so that I feel as though, you know, we're making progress on it, because as much as it is my primarily Thursday project, I do like having, you know, the odd little time where it sort of speeds ahead a little bit. I don't want it to drag on for years on end. Yeah, and I've also just done, they're not up yet, but I have just done a couple of unboxings on some Chart to Art from Diamond Art Studio. And I'm also itching to kit up one of those because those aren't ones that I will necessarily do on camera, like as a regular thing, because it will of course spoil the surprise for anybody else that's doing it. So that is definitely a sort of in the background project, and it kind of makes, I'm itching to sort of kit that up as well. So I could end up with a few whips, we shall see. Right, that has also got, that one has got some pink and then the rest of my 310. So I'm actually going to leave that bag as is. I'm not going to move the 310 over because I've got enough in there to keep me going, and probably enough for the whole painting. Right, let's have a look. Have we got any more in here? What's that one? 647. Yes, I want that. I want 647. And that one's a grey. What's that one? 415. Yes, I want that one. So here I'm sort of looking for anything grey, green, beige, sort of the colours that go in the black and white. I'm quite easily ignoring at the moment the bright blues, the bright yellows, etc. 318, I need that one, and I think that's it. So let's do these and then we'll go on the hunt for one missing. I've got one more bag to go through. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's nice knowing how many I need and just being able to tuck the rest in my spares bag. 318. Carrie, she says, awesome kit down. Thank you. I'm very surprised I got it all done in one. Even though I did sort of take a break myself, I did get it done in one day. This is horrid static. Have I got a funnel in here? Yes, I do. I might try using a funnel. Ugh. I know I pinched one of my other funnels that actually sits in the pot better. I've pinched it for the kitchen. Shoved it in the dishwasher, pinched it for the kitchen, and now I regret it because it sits so much better in the top of the pot. It doesn't move, doesn't slide to the side. But this is one that I have here. Okay, no, that's not helping because they're just all catching in the bottom. Okay, let's ditch wrestling with that. Let's just keep fighting as I'm fighting. It's not very easy to put a dryer sheet in these packets. So I'm just going to keep fighting. We'll figure it out. We'll get them all in eventually. So also from Carrie, she says update on her dog after bladder cancer surgery. She said today, 10 days post-op, he got his staples removed. She said they said his incision is looking great and he's doing so well, which is amazing news. She did say her mental health is struggling a bit right now. She said her anxiety is high because they have some work that needs to be done on the house. And it's going to go cost over $2,000. She says, but it has to be done, so there's not much that they can change now. Life just likes to throw curveball after curveball, was it not? She says she's using diamond painting and my videos, she says, to help her cope with the anxiety. She says she's currently working on a painting that says dogs welcome people tolerated. She says that she's going to hang right inside the door. She says it'll be hung right where she has a certificate that she made with her older dog's paw prints when they bought their house, saying he owns it, and a sign a friend gave them that said it's the dog's house, we just pay the mortgage. How true is that? She says so it'll fit right in. Sounds like it will. Sounds like what our house feels like at times. Luna very much likes to have control over who potentially is allowed in the house, even though she too doesn't actually own it. Cheryl, she says she was on she was on the advent painting pack, she says, until the painting with a paper chart came up. She says cross-stitch conversions and that, she says, just aren't for her. She says she tried it, she says, but it was too stressful. She says she's leaning towards doing red trucks and Labradors from Diamond Art Club. She said it's a beautiful image of some black Labrador puppies in the back of an old red pickup with a Christmas tree. She said it's a 65 by 65, so she'll need to do 25 sections that are 13 by 13. She says she wants to get it done because she went through a phase of every kit that she owned needed to be kitted up for some reason. And she wants to get through some of those kits so she can clear up some space. Yes, I do know there's quite a few people that actually kit up each painting that they get, even if they're not planning on starting it, which I can understand why at the beginning, and I can understand in the fact that kitting up, apart from when fighting with static, which I'm trying to ignore, can be one of the most sort of exciting parts of diamond painting, and it can definitely make people sort of want to do it as quick as possible. And when you only have a few kits, it's something that you can do. However, as soon as your stash starts to grow, and as soon as you start to realise that maybe sometimes you actually want to do a kit that's just arrived, and you don't have the storage space for it, that's when it becomes entertaining. Okay, all of these diamonds keep catching on the bottom part of the tray. just at the spout, but then the static forces it to go off in a different direction. I had to use the spout because I just had too many, but I'm now just going to pick up the rest with a damp finger from my desk because we're just making this work. Yeah, the paper chart in the mini diamond paintings is something that I do understand maybe not everybody will want. Sorry, just checking that wasn't the door. Yeah, it is something that maybe not everybody would want. I'm hoping that some people will potentially give it a go, because there is, of course, plenty of other paintings in the set. To be able to, you know, give that bit of variety for people. I'm hoping that we've tried to make sure that the set is priced reasonable enough that even if you don't finish one of them, it's still good value for money. But yeah, it's each to their own. You don't have to have the set to join in with the waffle. So it's really nice when we are all doing the same sort of one and can give these little things a go, which is why we went for doing it with a small one and not with a big one. Because big is very, very daunting, and if you've never tried a conversion chart one before and don't know if you're going to like it or not, it can definitely make it a bit harder. But yeah, the charted image is a very fun image. I do like it. I like them all, but I very much like the charted image because it is purely a fun one. Kim says she is so glad that I didn't torture myself by separating those two colours. Yeah, I'm paying for it now. I'm torturing myself with diamonds instead. But yeah, that is the only thing when I am doing, in effect, you know, talking through comments and things from previous videos while trying to de-kit. Not as much with kitting up, but I could see that I could potentially make a mistake while kitting this up. But the comments are actually helping more in the fact that these diamonds are so full of static. Because if I tried to kit this up with this much static without comments to be able to discuss, I think I would drive myself even more batty than this currently is. This is definitely helping me to cope, especially when the further down the packs I go, the worse it seems to go. But hey ho. I might pop some little bits of dryer sheet in later in each pot just to try and help them a bit. And make sure that if my pots need topping up, I try and do it before my video and not have to deal with static on a regular basis. See, look, they just don't even want to move down the tray. There's no lines on this tray. There is nothing stopping them apart from static. That is the only thing that's stopping them. I should get, have I got a smaller piece? Ah, there's a smaller piece. I normally have pieces of dryer sheet tucked everywhere. Try and see if I can help it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to help greatly. We're just going to go for it. I'm just going to pick them up off the desk again when they all go flying. Like that. So much nicer when it's not static and they just all fall out nicely. Get those two. They're all just stuck around the spout. They're not stuck in the middle of the spout. They're just stuck around the outside of the spout. Okay, let's get these picked up. It's like playing dot, 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 dot. I'm sure there's some game. Yeah, I'm sure there's some game where people pick little things up as quick as they can on purpose. Anyway. Oh, is this like even worse? Oh no, I am getting some of them out. When it gets to the point that they just don't want to get out the packet, it's just easier to just get them out of the packet and get one obstacle out of the way before moving on to the next one. At least there's not too many packets to deal with for some of these. But yeah, I am going to pop a piece of dryer sheet into each one once I'm done, just to help it come next week when I actually start it. But yeah, even making sure that loads of air can get in the packet isn't helping a huge amount. Helps with a few of them, but not too many. Are you going to move that way? Are you going to get less static if I rub you with a dryer sheet? Possibly not. No, even the ones I rubbed in the middle are still. I don't know what's worse. Okay. Sometimes I think when it comes to static, it's just easier to pick them up in multiple different places off the desk than to try and get them off the tray. But we'll give it a go. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Kim also shares, she says, your boxes, my spare storage boxes, she says, are getting a bit full, aren't they? Yes, I do have things that sort of pack them up a little bit at the end. So I have some extra pieces of foam board and things at the end that I probably do need to remove. My last two squares boxes, so the ones that hold 900 onwards, are nowhere near as full. So the other thing I may need to do in the future, which I have kind of avoided, but what I might need to do is actually split up the 800s and put half into sort of the other two boxes, sort of shuffle everything along a bit further, and I think that may, you know, that will give me loads more space in those boxes as well. So it might be that I need to do that. But we managed, we got it dekitted in the end. Kim also says, she says she used to be a night owl. She says, but since getting older, she says, hubby and herself say around 8 o'clock. It's not too early to go to bed, is it? ? Yeah, sometimes I do that. I'm just like, can I just go to bed? But the thing is, then I go to bed and I can't actually fall asleep. So I don't know what I am managing to achieve. She says, of course, she says because they hit the hay so early, she finds herself awake for a couple of hours in the night, which, yes, sometimes I will end up having a 10-15 minute sort of cat nap, and then be awake until the early hours before I can actually fall asleep. So I know every now and then when I've had a few nights where I just haven't been able to sleep, sometimes I purposefully stay up doing some diamond painting like really late, like till 1-2 o'clock in the morning, which never used to be really late to me, but now it is. I will stay up till then on purpose, in the hope that I can, you know, exhaust myself and go to bed and actually sleep through. It doesn't always work though. She says she has YouTube videos to the rescue. She says she still hates mornings. She says so she finds herself skipping the first couple of hours after sunrise. She says, and now that the colder weather is coming, she says she has discovered that her blanket holds her hostage in bed until she convinces it to let her go. Keeps you all warm and tucked in, Kim, is what it does. Trying to keep you cozy. Okay, I am doing these ones separately because they have static like the others, but I feel like I have a little bit more control, she says, as a few of them fly everywhere. But I do feel like I have more control doing one pack at a time. It's tedious, but it's 15 colours and I have you guys to keep me company, so I get the exciting part in a bit as well though. I get to look at the canvases, get those opened up, pick which one I'm going to use. I haven't yet made the decision, of course I haven't seen the second one. So I get to decide which one I want to use. And the drills, the fight will have been done. Get the fight over and done with. And I try and pull all the drills out of the packet bit by bit. And some of them are going in, some of them aren't. I'm sure each packet gets worse. Doesn't matter what order I open them in. Maybe it's just I get annoyed with them more the more it goes on. Deirdre says, hi Rebecca. She says her family doesn't really go on road trips a lot. She says, but when she was younger, her mum would bring a colouring book for her siblings and herself. She said it was really quiet in the car to the point where her grandma would ask if she was alive. She says, so you could say that I was put in a dead silence. She says sometimes, she says her nickname can be found on license plates. Excuse me. She said, and her family would joke about that being her car. She says in the version she plays in I Spy, she says they use colours and not letters. She says that's another great kitting down. I like that idea of using colours, especially for younger kids as well. Playing colours can be a bit easier to grasp than sounds, than letters. Because of course as well, depending on the age of the child, but younger children are very much taught now to read and to start writing. They're taught to use the sounds of letters more so, and that can sometimes, you know, mean that it gets mixed up, especially because the English language doesn't necessarily make sense. It's not a language that makes sense. Right, what are we on the hunt for? 762, 3865, 535 and 317. So let's see if we've got them in here or if I need to go hunting in other ones and see if I've missed them somewhere. Okay, here's my 3865, which is good. 762 is like a grey colour. That is not in there. 535, oh, that might be a darker green than I thought. It's not those ones though. So I think, oh, hang on, of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I'm missing a bag. Maybe that could be it. Where have I put it? It's still in the drawer. I was like that. I'm missing a bag of diamonds. Okay, before I go hunting through, let's actually check the last lot of diamonds. There's my 762. It is different to 3865, but it looks very, very similar. And there's my 535. Okay, and some more 310. But we are good. These are all, I do like these bags from Ever Moment though, by the way. They are all for my other painting and extras of 310. I will probably need some of those 310 for this painting. But I am not going to try and squeeze them into my sort of overflow bag. I can deal with that when they run out. So let's get these ones done. I'm kind of glad I hadn't missed the colours. I thought I was doing quite well. Dimitri says, hey, Rebecca and Zesties. So that was a long but nice video of the dekitting of the beautiful painting. They said love it so much. Hang on. Ooh. These are doing all right. And they love when they see all the beautiful colours. They love diamond painting more and more. It's always so nice when a hobby grows. And they're going to look out for my next video. Big love to you and your family and Zesties. They said shalom and thanks. Well, thank you so much for being here, as always. But yeah, it turned out absolutely beautiful, that painting. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I'm happy that it's dekitted as well. That's kind of nice, nice job to be done. Dee Breezy, now she's commented actually on the video where I ordered my Heaven and Earth Design diamonds and canvas, but they said they are struggling to find a company that will ship an extremely large canvas, which is 90 by 135. I think you should be able to find, have you tried Ever Moment? They do have 2 different listings for their blank canvas, depending on the size. It'll be the 90 centimetres that's causing a problem, because the 135 can, of course, be rolled up. So that longer part can be rolled up. But it may be that there is a higher shipping cost for something that is 90 centimetres in length. So what you may find is that they're there but dearer. But yeah, try Ever Moment or this other company that I got this poured glue one from, even though mine is not 90 centimetres. They were very responsive in messages, so it might be worth giving them a go. Sorry, my 762 is jumping everywhere. I always see 762 as a bit of more of a very pale grey. Oh, hang on, I haven't got 317 yet either. I need to get my diamonds back out. I'll go on that hunt in a minute. 317's a grey. I should have definitely found that one. Maybe I'll stop looking when I pulled these out. Okay. Right. I got diamonds everywhere. You going to behave into a corner? Ish. Ish. Let's see if I can pick some of these up first up. I'm going to end up dropping them because my bottle's too small. And because they're staticky, they don't all funnel into the corner quite as nicely as they do when they don't have static. And then they curve themselves around the bottom of the tray and flick themselves off. But anyway, yeah, 762 can be a very awkward colour from company to company, but at least in this painting now, they will be uniform, which is the main thing that I want. I want them to all be the same. Okay, 762, let's do 3865 and then I need to go on the hunt for the last one. So yeah, if anybody has ordered a 90 by something and does know a company that you've had it shipped from, do pop over to my Heaven and Earth Drills and Canvas organisation video and bob a comment to Dee Breezy if you can. See if I can get those to fit in. Definitely got quite a few extras. But that's fine, because especially with this much static, I would much rather deal with these as I go along. And this 3865 has loads of static. I can see it already. Grayla she says she has a long history of long car trips, she says, as a child and as an adult. She said when a child, her family would drive from Texas to Arizona to visit family. She says they left in the evening and drove overnight. She said it was cooler to drive through the desert at night time. She says maybe, she says my dad thought we would sleep in the back seats. She says, and eventually they did. She says, but it was fun hanging over the front seat. She said it was in the 70s, she says, so they didn't wear seatbelts. She says, and watching the snakes and armadillos, she says, along the road. She said they also had books and car bingo games for entertainment. She says, great memories. She does say she used to think, when I grow up, I'm going to marry a man that knows how to read maps and drive from point A to point B. She says, well, she says she's older now and she can read her own maps. Love it. Love it. She also says, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, you've just read a comment. She says from someone that said that they don't like squares. She says she started with round. She says primarily because her first kit was a Diamond Dots round and her first Diamond Art Club was a round. She says, but that was in 2022. She says now in 2024, if she has the option for a kit to be in round or squares, she says she mostly chooses squares. She says the reason is, she says fluffy stuff doesn't get stuck to the canvas between the squares. She says she also prefers the fit of the squares and her rounds often look like a drunkard lather. Squares, you can tend to nestle them in a bit easier, actually. That is a very, very valid point. I am getting so carried away. Absolutely loving doing this, by the way. Loving this kitting up. But I have just realised that I'm getting so carried away that my postie comes to collect the post in about 10 minutes. And I need to get the bags of mail ready for him. So all orders have been packed. All orders have postage applied. I did all that before I came in. But before I print out, I don't print out the final sheet, which tells the postie how many parcels I have. And I don't tie up the mail bags with the correct tags to say whether they're international, UK, etc. I don't do all of that until just before he's due, because if I get any more orders in the daytime or in the afternoon, I can get those out as well, which is why sometimes I'm able to get a UK order delivered to somebody within 24 hours. Depends on what time they order. But yeah, I've just realised that I have 15 minutes to do that, which doesn't take long, but I do need to pay attention to time. So what I think I'm going to do is see if I can get these in here, because frankly they're annoying. see if I can get these away in my pots. They're not coming out. I'm basically dragging them out with my nail. Yeah, get this 3865 in, get my other diamonds found, because I don't want to forget that I am missing diamonds by going and doing postage in between. And then I'm going to go get postage ready. And then I can come back and do more exciting things. These are going everywhere. I go to pull a load out and a load of them just go poof. Okay, let's get what we can out this one last bag and then let's do a quick tidy up. See, some of them will just go in and some of them, you can see them, they're just flying everywhere. And even ones that I get attached to my fingers won't always jump in the right direction. I think actually as my pot is getting fuller, because I have more static diamonds at the top of it, static sort of pushes them apart, doesn't it? So I think it's actually the diamonds that are already in my pot are pushing the other diamonds out the way and saying you're not coming in. I think that's the science behind it. I don't know. Science is fascinating, but it is not my hobby. Diamond painting is my hobby, or one of them. Okay, come on. This is pushing me now for my 15 minutes. But no, we have time. We have time. My postie is normally sat outside my house quite often, 5 to 10 minutes before he's due. But his little handheld won't let him scan my post if it's too early. So he's got like a time slot he can come in between. So he can come late, but it won't let him come early. 13 minutes past 4, in case you're wondering, is the exact time, his earliest he can arrive at my house. Yeah, and ever so very, very often he will be sat there waiting, because if he gets to mine at exactly 13 minutes past, then he ends up having he can get to his next stop before they close. Okay, there is no 317 in there, so maybe I did miss one. Let's have a look. So that has got a load of 310. Did I miss it with the 310? No. Okay, let's try my next one. It may be that I don't need many of them, and they could just be tucked in because it's a grey colour. So I'm checking anything that looks greyish. No. Next bag. So I'm looking at some of the blues as well, just in case they are greyish. Not seeing them in that one. What's this one? There is some of these that have got quite a few colours in. Aha! 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 You're there. 317. Woohoo! At least I found it. Okay, 317 is out. So I am going to go and get post ready for postie. Get the tags on the bags. I'm back. Postie has been. Orders are on their way. And I even got a brew in. So 2, 4, 6, 8. My last batch. And they are my diamonds for Top It Up, which say I will probably do those. I'll probably start checking before each video and adding in any of those that I need to. Because this static is not fun. Right, where were we on comments? Let's open up this one again. Oh, Grey Legrand again. She says, she's left a few comments, bless her. She says, hitting pause. She says, for the one that works from 5:30 a.m, she says, to 2, she says she gets it. She says not her favourite, but she has to work on campus. She said the job site, which is a 30-minute commute each way. She said if traffic, that is if traffic is cooperating. I thought this wasn't too bad with static, and this next one's worse. She says in order to avoid all the bad traffic, she said she wakes up at 5 a.m. and she's out the door ideally by 5:40. She puts in her 8 hours and calls it a day. She says she does this for a full week every other week. She says because she can't think early in the morning. She lays her clothes out, etc. the night before. She says she can't be trusted to pick out an outfit so early in the morning. Which I am with you on that. I used to always have a much better morning and a much better start to the day when I had to go out to the office if I laid out my clothes the night before. It's just not having to think. I mean, it can be awful if you've sort of forgotten to do it earlier on in the day and it comes to sort of, you know, late at night and you're like, oh, I'm really not in the mood for this, to get your clothes ready. But it's still less hassle to do it then than it is to do it first thing in the morning, when the brain is just not working. That is where sometimes jobs that have uniform, that is where they win. They don't tend to win in a lot of other stuff. As a general rule, there are definitely exceptions to pretty much every rule. But yeah, a uniform used to be even better when it came to getting ready in the early hours. Grey Legrand also says, she says, you're talking about heat coming from your neighbour's dining room. She says the homes are connected, ? Yes, they are. So not all houses in the UK are connected, but it is quite popular for them to be connected. We have what we call detached houses, which are standalone on their own. But a lot of houses are either a terrace, which means there is a big long row of houses. So you will have an end terrace and then you will have multiple houses connected by a party wall. I live in a semi-detached house, which is basically 2 houses connected by a party wall. So the wall to the right of me, as I'm standing here filming, is next door's dining room. So it can make for make it very warm in here. I've had my cardi on and off a couple of times while I've been doing this video. But yeah, we are connected to next door. We live in a semi-detached house. So yeah, right. Diamonds are in their pots. I am going to put dryer sheets in. I'm going to pop that to one side to remind me to put those in afterwards. But I don't think we need to see that on camera. I think we've seen me do that enough. I think I need to empty that bin as well, actually. Let's not put that away. Let's leave that out. And let's have a look at my canvases. I'm excited to see how my canvases go. I do need to read out this other comment that Gray LeGrand has left. She says, regarding the sound quality, she says, please tell hubby. She says that it's so much better, so he feels good about it. She says, but she never noticed a sound issue prior. You're so much like me. In that regard, hubby is all about sound. In relation to TVs, movies, all the rest of it's all about sound. I'm not. As long as I can hear it, I'm happy. But yeah, I did read out that comment to him and it did make him chuckle. Okay, I'm going to shut the laptop for now because I feel like I'm now at a point where I need the space. We've got the diamonds in the pot, which is a woohoo. I'm very eager to see what this canvas is like, and the Ever Moment, which I have had a sneak peek look at. Very well wrapped though. Wrapped in an air tube and then in a bag. It's got very nice edging on the canvas. And it's got the very nice soft lint back. So that's good. Has got tape around it, which we'll put in that bin we need to empty. And then, it's got nice 10 grid lines. There is like a darker shade there. Well, that could be how it's got 2 pieces of clear on it. That's what that line is. And then the whole thing has been wrapped on a pool noodle thing as well. It does actually have a couple of things I do want to know. It does have an arrow to mark the middle of the canvas at the top, and it does have one on the right, which is nice. It's a fairly decent quality, like, thickness of canvas. You can see some sort of crinkles here, but there's no crinkles on the glue. There is 2 pieces. It is poured glue. This is quite thin, but who uses it anyway? I don't. And it does have some excess glue over the side. But if you ever saw my big Heaven and Earth design canvas, I did not have these 10 markings. They just weren't present at all. There is a little bit of fluff that's got caught. I can't work out if it's in the glue or under the glue. On the glue. It's not underneath it because it is moving off. So there is just a little bit of remnant of that to get rid of. But the glue's nice and sticky. It is poured glue, which is fantastic. And this, if I remember rightly, was a whole load cheaper than the other one. Let me actually see. I've got my laptop in here, haven't I? So let me just pull up how much I paid for this one and how much I paid for the Ever Moment one. For exactly the same size, so that you know what we're talking about. So I need to pull up order details from Ever Moment because, of course, I got multiple. Now, this is not including the VAT added on, just because it adds that on at the end. So this is before that, and with Ever Moment, of course, I ordered other things. So the Ever Moment canvas cost me £26.79. and this canvas cost me £16.99 before that. They both included delivery. Yeah, it was just tax or VAT that I got added on to that. So for just short of £10 cheaper, this is this one. The Evermoment does come in a tube. So it does come in a sturdy tube, though this one has arrived safe and sound. This is the Evermoment canvas. The other thing to note, this one is 50 centimetres by 90 centimetres. This one is 60 centimetres by 90 centimetres. So rather than get a custom canvas, I went for the canvas that was the closest to it because I trim around the outside anyway. So why not? This one has the nice pinked edge. It has a nice soft back, probably a little bit more tightly woven than this one, but they both feel as soft. Just this one, they're both about as thick as each other, I would say. There's not much in it. If anything, this one may be a little bit stiffer, but I say there's really not a lot in it. And I only say more tightly woven just looking at the actual back of the canvas to each. This looks like it could potentially fluff up just a little bit quicker than this one does, but really not much in it at all. With the Evermoment, they do mark every 10. So this has got a number 1 to 10 across and 1 to 10 down. So this will be your first block inside those numbers. And then we've got it again, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. That is the only thing that I feel might be distracting with this canvas, is the 1 to 10. I feel like I could miss it or second guess what symbols I put on it because of that. However, the quality or the thickness of this, well, I don't know whether it's the thickness or whether it's just, do you know what? It might be the quality of this. This is a lot better quality, the top cover, compared to this one, which is thinner. But when I actually hold the canvas themselves, they both feel as thick as each other, but this is thicker on the Evermoment. So yeah, I need one that is 46 centimetres by 82. So this one is closer to what I actually need. I'm going to finish a little bit before the end, and I'm going to finish a bit before the end this way. Whereas with this one, I'm going to end up with 3 or 4 blocks that I don't need to actually diamond paint on. So yeah, this one, I'm very much in between the two, but what I'm actually thinking, this is my main thought process between which one of these do I do this diamond painting on. And I am swaying towards this one because of these numbers 1 to 10. That is the only thing that is distracting me from using this one, because, you know, these extra little trimmings and the numbers being down the side, so it giving me the 10, 20, 30, 40 all the way across, and the same going down, I think will be very, very handy. However, these numbers 1 to 10 on the actual canvas, I'm not liking as much. So do you know what I think I might do is, for my first section, so for next week when we actually start working on this diamond painting, what I think I might do for my first week is just do a 10 by 10 square on each canvas and see how much, or maybe I'd do 2 squares and see how much this annoys me. because I do like the fact that this top cover's thicker, though I may still end up replacing this with cover paper, to be fair, so that's not really a big issue. What I really want to know is this 1 to 10 annoying or not? And I feel like if I don't actually give it a go, I'm not going to know. But I have visions of me looking for a blank, but it would be handy to potentially have the numbers, especially if I'm going 7 across and, you know, having to put a single one here. So I think what I might do is I might give this one a go for the Whip and Waffle to start with. Maybe I'll do a 4x4 block and make a decision as I'm diamond painting. And if the 4x4 block, if it starts completely messing with my head, I will just stop and switch over to this other one. But both canvases are great quality. So if I'd have been able to see them, have hold of them both before purchasing, I would have probably saved myself a tenner and gone for this one because it's great. It will do exactly what I need it to do, and will allow me to start and do my diamond painting. But I did want to see them both in the flesh. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start next week's Whip and Waffle with this canvas and see how I go. And if it annoys me, then it's going. This one I have managed to smear that stuff trying to get it off, but I haven't. I'm going to go over it with a baby wipe. But if not, the diamonds will cover that anyway. And this dark line is just where 2 pieces of clear cover combine. It's not actually on the canvas itself, but I like the fact they have the 10 grids marked. Because with my big one, I had to mark them myself. And that was not fun. I will tell you that much. It was not fun marking those up every time. Okay, so that is the 2 canvases so you can see what they're like. And I'll give this Evermoment a run for its money next week. What I need to do now is show you markup. So let me grab my iPad and take that out of its case, because that will be so much easier. And okay, so it's called Markup RXP, just so you know. And I say I have put it in. It does also put one in as a sample project, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add a new project and I'm going to add this again so that you can see what it does. I haven't messed with it apart from seeing if it would import it. I do like the fact you've got like kitted, doing, done. Not quite sure how to mark those, how to make them move from one to another. Maybe it's something I can tag on it. I'm not sure. But you go to add a new project and you can restore your backup. You can do one via camera, save photos, PDF and image files. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I am going to search for Beautiful. And then it pulls up my mini Beautiful light. Also pulls up the labels that Megan made for me. But this is my chart. So this is the chart that I've purchased. And then it asks you to select chart pages so that they're green. And to deselect the other pages so that they're pink. But it does also say that Markup may have picked them already for you. And if you look, it has. It's already picked green for my chart and pink for not. So it works very well. Press next. And then it asks you to confirm the order of the chart. So it confirms that it is page 5, 6, 7 and then 8 is below. So you can move your pages up and down if your chart is laid out different. So with a Heaven and Earth design, it has picked that already. It then asks you to check the size of the overlap. So when you actually have a heaven and earth design chart, which if I go into here and come out of my quilting folder, if I search for beautiful again, so if I just pull up my chart on its own, you will see that when it comes to, so here we go, the second page, and let's go for the third page because I don't want to show too much of, course, a chart I purchased. But if you can see here, on the actual PDF itself, this part is greyed out because this part here, if we have a look, it's got two dark symbols, 2 light symbols, 2 dark symbols, 1 light and 3 dark. That is actually a repeat of up here. Is it there? Okay, maybe it's not. Oh no, because it's going down. Oh no, it is going across. Oh, I scrolled up too much. Okay, so if we let's have a look at this one because this one's actually easier. So if you can see here, we've got 3 lines of sun symbol, and then we've got 2 little teardrops, a load of sun, and a little IS symbol. And if we go up to the top corner of the next page, it's because it's actually 3 rows in. So these 3 rows here are repeated down here, which is to help you make sure that you're in the right place. So that chart that we looked at before is actually the 3rd row in. So 2 dark symbols, 2 symbols, 2 dark, 1, and then 3. So that was my error. But yeah, the chart itself does have an overlap, so that you can move from one page to another if you print it out. So what markup is asking is that your overlap? So your page 1, 2, 3 rows. So does it have 3 rows of overlap? Yes, it does. So hit next. And then it asks you to tap the pages that contain your key. So your key is the symbols that you're using for each number. So the same as the stickers I've just printed out. So 169 is an arrow. So page 3 has my key. It's already highlighted. Then it asks to tap any pages that contain a picture of the finished chart. So my front page. And then it puts it all together. So there is my image. These are all my symbols. So I've got the little up arrow for 169. I've got 310 being the red square. All of that works. So you can tap a symbol to show where it is in the chart. So which one did we not have a lot of? 535. So if I tap that, can you see? There's not many of them. I'm not sure if you even can see. There's like a series of red dots. Whereas if we go to 310, it shows you that all of those in red is 310. All of those are 5200. All of those are 3865. And if you go along, it will show you what each of them are. So of course, some of these further down the bottom, there is less of. So that is all your loading complete, and then I can hit done. So once I hit done, there we go, I have my chart all in there. So when I open this up now, I can choose to have it set as pages. So I've got my 1, 2, 3 pages with my overlap showing, or I can choose to view the full chart. And then when I zoom in, it will give it me with no overlap. So you can see it just goes all the way across. There's nothing highlighted for an overlap because there isn't one. No, that tells you where the page is. So if you can see, this is the page that I'm on, but I can actually see the full chart as one. So I've got a pan zoom like I had before. I can choose to select a symbol. So this has chosen my sun symbol, which is my first one. And I can choose to have the density high or low, or it actually puts it somewhere in the middle, which to me highlights it enough in yellow so that I can see. I'm not sure if you can change pictures or anything. I say haven't really messed with it at all, but it does tell me up the top. This was the only thing I was trying to get. On my other one, I was able to have like a little key symbol, and I could just tap on them as I went through. I haven't found that on this one yet. Doesn't mean it doesn't do it, but I haven't found it yet. But it does tell you at the top what symbol you're on. You can choose to show any unmarked squares, and you can choose to show a preview as well. So if I take it off preview, put it back on symbol, but take that off, can I undo? Oh, there we go. So I've taken the highlight off the symbol. I can tap on preview and it will show me a preview of my finished piece. So if you're ever unsure, you can sort of do it that way. So this is my preview of my first few squares, or I can turn that off and it will give me the symbols back. So yeah, I found it extremely easy to put it into markup. How it's going to be to work, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what those link views are. I can choose to view, that was what I did, view as a single page or view as a full chart. So as a full chart, it's gone back to where I was so that I can move about. And then if I highlight a symbol, I can then use markup to mark which ones I've done and scroll across, and then click on symbol and choose a different symbol, for example, and it will highlight those for me. I can choose to do it up. So overall, it seems to work pretty well. I wouldn't say the symbols are as clear as anything. Like, they're a bit fuzzy. I'm guessing that's because of the way it imports the file. It's not sort of imported as maybe Pattern Keeper does it. I'm trying to work out, actually, let me do it on some black. So if I highlight that symbol, okay, why is it not highlighting all of them? I don't know why it's not highlighting all symbols. Oh, there we go, it is now. Don't know what it did then. But if I mark those as done, okay, it's not letting me mark that one for some reason, but anyway, if I mark that one as done, so it does seem like it's a little bit iffy. It seems as though that symbol it thinks is a different one, which could be entertaining. Okay, so I've marked those as done. If I now hit preview, no, unmarked. Preview, no, it's not showing me which ones I've done and which ones I haven't, so I'm not sure how to do that. You can always click on the key and go straight to the key. You can go to your picture and you can go to your info. So it tells me how many marked stitches, how many still to do, how much I've completed, how long I've taken, time of stitches. Hadn't clicked on that before. So that is good. Average stitch rate per day, it says 79 stitches per minute. Estimated days to complete if I did 79 stitches a day is 752 days. Estimated completion date of 14th of November 2026. So I think I need to do more than 79 stitches. Active stitching days so far is 1. So I like that. I don't know if I like the fact that it can be a little bit hit and miss as to the symbols. So it's got this symbol as being different to this one. Don't know if I like that, but we'll see how we go. Say the symbols are not as clear, especially when you zoom in, as they are on Pattern Keeper. I will say that. I'm not sure how they're coming across on the screen, but they are definitely fuzzier on here. Yeah, they're not as clear, they're not as straightforward, and yeah, that does make me wonder like how it's converted it, whether it will be something I will pay for or not. See, I've just clicked on that symbol. Is this? No. See, I'm clicking on symbols and it's only doing the ones that I want. It's not actually searching for them. But now when I press search, it's unticked those. It's missed some. I have to go in and hit on them. So yeah, maybe I need to go and have a look. It does say when you download it, it does say we've got videos on YouTube, here's this, here's that. So maybe I'll give myself a little bit of a lesson before next week, so that I am giving a true reflection of how the kit works. I would kind of prefer if it got rid of the symbols once I'd marked them as being done. That would be kind of nice. But yeah, I'm going to give it a good go because I do prefer the idea of using my iPad. However, I do like Pattern Keeper. So next week is going to be a test week. We're going to test out the Evermoment canvas. We're going to do the first, I'll probably just start with 2 squares across maybe, just to give me chance to do a few different colours. Give this a good run for its money. If I find I'm enjoying it, then I may end up doing some more. We'll give Markup a bit of a test before it starts shouting at me that it wants money off me. And yeah, I'll give you my thoughts at the end of next week. But at least we are pretty much ready to go. We're kitted up. We have canvases, we have charts. So I will see you next Thursday to start this one. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.